So we've now spent about 87 Sundays worshiping from home. Well, maybe it's 8, but it seems like 87. And one of the things I miss about corporate worship is doing communion with people I love. Now, I get to do communion with Marcia, and I love her. And we enjoy doing that, but I've talked to a lot of friends, and this taking communion at home is sometimes a little difficult. You get up on Sunday morning, you're ready to do your online church, and somebody says, "Do we have any grape juice? How about wine? Does Dr. Pepper count? Can we do diet cranberry juice? What about water? Wasn't there something about blood and water? Do we have anything to put it in? Who's got the paper cups? Can we use a shot glass?" And on it goes. And it reminds me of so many places where I've taken what I would consider to be different kinds of communion juice. Because as a traveling preacher, I've gone all over the world. I've been in places where I've had, now I grew up having, by the way, I think Welch's grape juice is what I think we used all the time in all the churches I grew up in. Rarely had real wine. But I've been places where I've had wine. I've been places where I've had homemade wine. I've been in places where they let the wine sit out a little bit and it had turned, fermented. Not real good experience. I was in a place where I promise it was knee-high grape. It was in South America. I don't care what they told me. It tasted just like the knee-high grape from my childhood. I've had places where I think it was grape Kool-Aid. I really do. But my favorite story in all that, I was over in Africa and we were getting ready for communion, and there were several thousand people there, and as the guest preacher, they had me sitting at the very front. We did the communion service. Communion came by. I took the bread, and I took the juice that was offered. And now, I got to tell you, I typically is kind of, in places where I'm not sure, I toss juice back. And if anybody says anything, I just tell them I'm a weak American, and, I have a poor stomach, so there you go. But I tossed it back, and a few seconds later, our local team leader came running down, leaned over and said, "Steve, did you take communion?" "Yes." "Why?" And he looked at me and said, "Oh, never mind." Now, you can't say that to somebody and then walk off. So as soon as we had a break, I tracked him down and said, "Why? What'd you want me to not know about communion?" And he said, "Did it taste a little bit like raisins?" And I said, "Yes, now that you mention it, did. Why?" And he said, "Well, a while back, a company from the United States had donated several thousand boxes of raisins to be used in this African country. And a lot of people weren't sure what to do with it. Some of the churches got a hold of some of it and decided they could do communion juice from raisins. All they had to do were empty all of the boxes into big vats and stomp them, and they would make communion juice, and they did." I thought about that a lot, because here's the thing with Welch's and raisin juice and wine and homemade wine and fermented wine and anything that's fruit of the vine. The point's not exactly what it is. The point's that it's truly the blood of Jesus. And sometimes we get so distracted about the grape juice or the wine or the fermented or we can miss the whole point. So this Sunday, when you're doing communion, if you're using Welch's or from your wine cellar or crushing raisins, here's the key. It's the blood of Jesus. And everywhere I've been, I shared with my brothers and sisters the blood of Jesus. So I'll think about all of you this Sunday when my wife and I take ours. I think this Sunday is Welch's. Till next time, go God.